So this is where I work. I do very little filming here because this is where I work, and but I thought I would share with some of you guys what I do and what I have for equipment and how I use it, pretty much. This is my desk. This is where I do all my boring paperwork, spreadsheets, and database entries, and support, remote support, phone calls, all that happy stuff that, you know, working people have to do. So, you know, some of you guys love fans. This is the GE fan that I got from, I think I got that from Goodwill a couple years ago. It's missing the head badge, so I stuck a Lenovo poker chip in place of the head badge until I can find a freaking head badge for it. I saw a video that, I think it was Harley Badger, or might have been Spatsbear made, where they had the exact same fan missing the same damn head badge. Anyway, so this is my desk. Over here I've got my parts supply for all the devices that we service, or that I service in this district. A lot of parts, and a lot of it I don't really need anymore, but I'm still holding on to just in case I get that one machine that walks in the door that needs some random part that I still happen to have. But here's all the service manuals for everything that I work on. This is where I put all of my hardware, screws, bolts, nuts, all that happy stuff. I do a lot of weird, oddball things that most technicians don't do. You know, like repairing and modifying computer cards, or you know, doing installations of certain types of equipment. So I keep all that stuff here. This is where I put all of my memory. It's sorted by size and by type. Enough memory to support the various machines that we have in the district. We've all but eliminated PC desktops, and by next year they will be gone. Moving over to all-in-ones, Chromebooks, and MacBooks. That'll be the primary fleet that we have. And speaking of MacBooks, I'm deploying 20 of them this week. These are 5 brand new MacBooks, fresh out of the box. I've just imaged them. This is my imaging station. I have a fog server here. I use that for my Windows images, and our Mac images are stored on a server that we just boot right off of, and I do all that right here. This is my, well, normally this isn't covered in computers, but normally this is pretty open space. But this is my Apple service support, ASP server. This right here is what every Apple store has behind or somewhere in their shop. When you go to the Genius Bar and they plug in your MacBook to diagnose it, this is what they're plugging it into. Well, this is the type of machine they're plugging it into. This is all network based, so I can boot it right off of, right from there. This is all on the same network. So I can take a MacBook, stick it here, boot it off of this server, and diagnose it. The diagnostic software that Apple uses isn't very thorough. I have never had it find a legitimate problem in my 9 years doing this. Just a little bit of candid, you know, information. That is the God's honest truth. It has never properly diagnosed anything for me. But I have to have it because being Apple certified, I have to run it. I'm also Acer and Lenovo certified, so I can pretty much service anything that comes in. But this is my main take-apart bench. This is where I do a lot of the hardware repairs that don't require soldering. I do very little soldering, but when I do, I come over here. I've had to solder some really random stuff, surface mount and through hole, and I do that all here. There's an anti-static mat there, a stereo optic microscope that does come in handy, and I've got 2 soldering stations. This one is my more accurate one. This is a very nice Radio Shack pencil tip iron that can be adjusted to any temperature setting, up to, I think it goes up to 600 degrees, or 800 degrees, 842 goes up to 842 degrees, and it gives you an accurate temperature reading of the probe. Recently I've replaced this giant all-in-one benchtop unit with a simple Fluke desktop multimeter, benchtop multimeter. This is my surface mount workstation. I acquired this from the estate of a friend of mine who passed away. This does surface mount. It has a built-in soldering iron, which has a worn-out tip, and it also has a very handy through-hole desoldering tool that works pretty well. There's my soldering station. This bench is going to be replaced eventually with a bread rack, so I can kind of organize all of these parts. But I've got spare screens over here and spare keyboards, mostly scrap keyboards. I keep the scrap keyboards because we tend to have a lot of key damage in this district. A lot of keys get ripped off of machines, so I try to keep at least a handful of every type of keyboard that I come across. That way, if I need to fix one, I can. Over here we've got another take-apart bench. I use this one more for bigger things like printers, because I service our printers as well. We have all HP laser jets in the district, and I have manuals for all of them, and I know how to fix all of them. So if ever one breaks, and they do, I also take care of that. I also order equipment, so I've also been responsible for purchasing printing equipment, projectors, desktops, laptops. I don't do a lot of the bulk ordering. That's done by our support coordinator, but if I need a one-off machine, I'll order that myself. Now this shelf here, I'm setting this up. This is a fairly new addition. As the Chromebook repairs started piling up, I ran out of spaces to put them. So I headed this shelf as kind of a holding place for Chromebooks that are waiting for parts. So being Lenovo certified, I can order parts directly from Lenovo and have them overnight, in some cases in 3 days. So I can get these repaired without shipping them off to India or wherever the hell they go. They go to Texas is actually where their service center is. Below that I've got my adhesive kit, which is where I keep all of my epoxies and glues. I've got hard drives, both 3.5 inch and 2.5 inch, zip ties and adhesive anchors, USB floppy drives for the occasional, it's been a few years since I've used a floppy drive here, but I still keep 1 or 2 USB floppy drives handy. Over here I've got my internal optical drives, and next to that I have external USB optical drives. And those are mainly for people that need them for these MacBook Airs. And let's get to the real reason I'm making this video. Okay, this is a Lenovo Chromebook N21. We bought over 1,000 of these things, and I can tell you they are an inexpensive device. They're one of the least expensive Chromebooks you can buy. I think they retail for about $175 bucks. It might even be less. We buy them in bulk, so we get a really massive savings on them. And because we're a Lenovo, we are a Chromebook district. We're trying to encourage the students to move towards portable computing, and this device, with its low price point, has made that possible. But it's not without flaws. There are a lot of flaws in this machine that I will eventually go over, but I can't. For certain reasons, I can't do that right now, but I will eventually do that, and I'll probably compare this to the N22 that superseded it. The N22 hasn't been released publicly yet, but I have gotten my hands on one, and I can tell you that it is what the N21 should have been, and all of the physical problems that I've had with the N21s have been resolved in the N22. So Lenovo did actually send me a pre-production N22. It isn't publicly released until sometime in April, but I was able to get one, and I did fully disassemble it. And I'm telling you, it is gold. But I'm running out of battery power, so let's get on with the show, shall we? Okay. So what I'm going to do is open this device up. This came into my shop for a dead backlight. And I want to show you some of the strange ways these devices can break. I've never seen this before. This is a very new issue. Brand new, never had it happen. So I was looking at the board, specifically where this connector is located. This is the screen connector. I don't think it's an LVDS. I think it's something else. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so this is what provides power for the backlight as well as the image signal. And you'll notice that, and I just happened to glance over here and I saw this little object kind of precariously attached to the logic board. This object is a transistor that more than likely supplies power to the backlight based on the end result of its dislodging. So I'm trying to figure out how the fuck did that happen? How did this even happen? How did this transistor get ripped off the board? And then I'm looking at this USB connector here. Let me focus in. Yeah, you can really see it now. So there's the transistor. How the hell did this happen? And then I'm looking at this USB connector here, and I'm thinking, gee, this blue insert is like, I don't know, not where it's supposed to be. What happened here? Well, as it turns out, somebody must have rammed something into that port. And I'm trying to figure out what that might be. I'm thinking it might have been a USB thumb drive. Some of the more modern ones, like, here's a perfect example. This is a giveaway bottle opener. This I got at a trade show. This is from Pernix Data. This is a bottle opener. It doesn't have a shoulder or anything on its body. It's just a bare, plated piece of metal with a tiny little USB, 4 gigabyte USB chip in there. But this thing right here, if you press this in hard enough, look at that, it's actually getting worse. But you could easily ram this thing in hard enough to dislodge this insert. So I'm thinking that might be how this actually happened. But I thought I would share this with you guys because, honest to God, I mean, what are the odds of that even happening? So in terms of what is going to happen to this machine, I could fix it in-house. What I would do is remove the logic board and I would remove the entire USB connector. I would then reconstruct the connector with adhesive, unless I could find another connector to rob from another board. But I would be able to repair this. I'm pretty sure I could do that. I have some pretty strong adhesives that could permanently glue that insert in place. And it wouldn't cost anything to fix. I would then reattach that transistor, and I can almost guarantee you this machine would be just fine. However, the owner of this laptop purchased an insurance plan for it. And that is how it's going to be covered. Because I certainly cannot send this in as or execute this as a warranty claim for obvious reasons. This is not a warranty issue. This is accidental damage. Here's another one. It's ironic how these things come in waves. This one here came into my shop for a burning smell, and then it won't turn on. But you'll notice there's something missing here. If I can get the damn thing to focus. Something is missing. Let's take a look. Just want to see how bad it is. This is going to actually go out to our insurance company. I'm going to call this an accidental breakage. Can't justify spending money on a logic board for something we don't even own. That was clearly accidental. Thought I got them all. Guess not. It's a good thing I checked this one too, because it was missing a bunch of screws. I want to make sure that when it goes out for repair, that they don't think it was tampered with. Alright. Let's see what happened here. Oh man. Yeah, I can smell it. It's bad. Look at this. The entire USB port was shoved into the case. And it's got little pieces. I'm going to take these out of the machine. Yeah, she's fried crispy. Where'd the port go? The inside of it, anyway. Well, the shell is still there. Right there. But when it was shoved in, yeah, I see little bits of blue plastic all over the place. Some of it must have fallen out of the machine. But yeah, something shorted out as a result. It's ironic too. Two of the same problem within a few days of each other. Yeah, it's not a good thing. I just hope this doesn't become a pattern. Oh, but here's an example of those wear marks on the logic board I was talking about. This one has it a little bit worse, and there's some of that that aluminum oxide right here, caused by the this transfer plate rubbing against the underside of the keyboard. But there's a little more prominent rubbing going on right here. Let's focus on that. Right about there, and right about here. You can actually see where it's actually come through, and I can feel it when I scratch this plastic stick. You can feel the wear on the board layer of the masking, solder mask. Well, I'm just gonna button this up and send it out for insurance repair. God bless insurance. So yeah, I'm going to declare this an accidental breakage because somebody accidentally shoved something in the port hard enough to break it free and send pieces of USB port all inside the machine. I just wanted to make sure that it was safe so that when it's in transit, the battery can't explode or anything. So I wanted to get anything conductive off the board so that that doesn't happen, just in case. You gotta be precautious sometimes. Okay, well, let's put her back together. Unbelievable. I also want to point out one other issue with this laptop. There is something covering the polarizer on the LCD screen. I can't get it off. It's like a glue or cement or something. It's just a little upsetting since this computer is only a few months old. Well, let's see, it was purchased in August. It's now late March. So, yeah, it's only a few months old. Not even a year. And it's already in this condition. It's kind of upsetting. But, what do you want, I guess? Missing screws, whatever. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I also fixed Acers. This one here, some student decided to have a little fun and ripped up my little trackpad. Little jerk. So I gotta go find a keyboard and see if I have any left. C740? No, 720. I should have one here. One of these bins I have. No, actually, this model, the trackpad is separate from the keyboard, so that's nice. So, a lot of them nowadays is all one unit. They don't sell you the trackpad, they just sell you the whole top case. Oh, wait a minute. I thought that was true for this model. All my top cases have no trackpads. Ah, wait. Wait a second. No, I was right. They do sell them as a unit. So I'm going to have to... And I used up all my trackpads. That sucks. Yeah, I had been pulling trackpads out of these These are brand new keyboards. I've been taking trackpads out of them as needed. But I don't have any trackpads. Check my... I think I have another bin. Let's see what's in there. Fortunately, Acer is good about selling parts. Real easy, real cheap too. What do I have in here? Order one. These are just system shells. Ah, there we go. Complete assembly. But rather than take the whole assembly, I'm going to just take the trackpad out, which is not what Acer wants you to do, but that's what I'm going to do. Because to do the whole thing, I have to disassemble the entire machine. Because everything, this is the machine's backbone, basically, so everything bolts onto the keyboard assembly. That's how a lot of manufacturers do it now. But as a time saver, and to not waste a perfectly good keyboard, I'm going to just do what I need to do. So, yeah. Alright, so... Yeah, I don't know what it is with these computer manufacturers, but they won't sell you just a trackpad. They'll only sell you the whole thing as an assembly. I believe they claim that it's all calibrated as one unit, which may be true, but let's be honest here. I've got users ripping trackpads out of frames, or trying to. And calibration isn't really my highest priority. In my case, keeping the cost of repair as low as possible so that I can squeeze as much life out of the equipment as I possibly can, that is my priority. And it's, interestingly enough, the assembly doesn't include the trackpad cable. Lenovo sells you the entire assembly with the trackpad cable included, which I prefer. But I'll take what I can get. So anyway, I did go through the process of becoming Acer certified, but I don't think I ever finished. You know, I started the process, I got access to the online portal, I got all their software, but I don't recall if I ever bothered continuing, because we're not buying these anymore. They're too expensive. I think the Acer is a great product. I think it's a better product than Lenovo in a lot of ways. But they're not cost effective enough. Lenovo's are at least $50 cheaper, and when you're buying pallet loads of them, you know, it adds up fast. Not only that, but repairing an Acer is a little bit more difficult. Because the entire unit is built off of the keyboard, and the most commonly damaged item is the keyboard, most of your repairs are going to involve disassembling the entire machine, which takes time. Time is money. When you've got, you know, 5 or 6 of these a day failing in addition to your other responsibilities as a technician and a support person, you know, it really eats into your day. In this case, we're just doing a trackpad because that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to pull the battery out. It's held in by 2 screws. You probably can't see much of that, can you? Sorry. And unplug the power and just lift it out of its place. You got to be real careful with these battery packs. These are soft cell packs. It doesn't take much to damage them. When they're fully charged, they're basically a ball of potential energy. Once you short out these packs, run like hell. You're supposed to have a metal box nearby to put these in if they ever do burst. I don't have one. I need to get one. But a simple puncture of one of those cells is all it takes, and boom, your day's ruined. I've never had that happen to me, but I have seen video footage of technicians who have actually dealt with that before. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've never had a battery pack explode, not once. You watch, this will be my lucky day. I gotta get the speaker wire out of it. So you just saw what the Lenovo looks like inside. Here's an Acer. It's a C720. The C740 is similar. But yeah, everything is built right off the keyboard assembly. So one of the most common failures I have is keyboard damage. I did a video a while back where I covered this on our district-owned MacBooks, where students were ripping keys off and destroying the membrane underneath. If that happens on an Acer C720, I have to replace the entire keyboard, as with any Chromebook or laptop in general. In this case, if I had to replace the entire backplane of the machine, backbone, I would have to disassemble everything. It's no fun. It's a lot of work, but you know, if you have to do it, you have to do it. And that's how you replace a trackpad in an Acer C720. Basically, exactly the opposite of what I did taking it out. Just reverse it. You'll notice at the factory, they did not install screws here or here. I just put them in because I had them. Not sure why they did that. Or else who knows why they do anything. But what's different about the Acer is it actually has a cooling fan and heat piping. Lenovo depends on the keyboard assembly to diffuse the heat, which is something that, you know, IBM has been doing for a long time. When they built the Panasonic Toughbooks for Panasonic, the Panasonic Toughbook is basically an IBM in a magnesium alloy case. At least the older ones were. Okay, let's see if this works. Now, because this is just a cheap little Chromebook, you don't have to go through the trouble of balancing things out. Actually, it's not clicking. It works, but it's not clicking. I'm going to readjust it. What I was going to say is on Apple products, you have to the haptic feedback ones, you have to calibrate the trackpads with a series of weights and pattern tools and such. Real fun. But these, they just need to be aligned properly, and I guess I got the alignment off, so let me take a look and see where I screwed up. Okay, I figured out the problem. There was one last snap that I didn't get, but it's good now. Cool. Good to go. All set. And when the parts are no longer serviceable, they go right into the scrap bin, where they will be sent to a recycler to be properly disposed of.